The following podcast is sponsored by Generational Wrestling Society. We have, what was your name?
Dante Williams.
We have Dante Williams here after the Madison, West Virginia show with Arn Anderson. What are some of your influences and how you started in this business?
Oh, God. Influence-wise, I grew up watching wrestling in the 90s. Mostly watching WCW, so guys like Sting, Goldberg, Kevin Nash, and of course guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, all that stuff. Getting into wrestling, I've always wanted to be a wrestler, but growing up in my original hometown, it wasn't a thing. There was nobody to do anything, so I moved to Huntington, West Virginia, met a guy. I'm not going to drop his name because am I allowed to curse on this? Let's say no. Let's say no. He's a piece of garbage.
Just not a fan, right? Not a fan.
Not even close to being a fan. He owes me money actually. But so I got hooked up with him, and then took 2 years off, and then came back. Met guys like Rocky Rage, Shane Storm, a few other guys too that got me back into the business to where I am now.
Absolutely. Where are you from originally, Dante? If you don't mind me asking.
Originally from a small town in Ohio called Gallipolis. Right across the street from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. If you know the Mothman, that area.
Yeah.
So
we're basically reclaiming.
Yeah, might as well. I've been here long enough. I've lived in West Virginia for almost 10 years, so why not?
There you go. So you mentioned WCW's. I had a brain fart.
No, you're good, dude.
Like I said, we're new.
No, you're fine.
Who do you try to mimic? Not really mimic, but imitate. Who do you go in there thinking, okay, tonight I'm a Big Daddy Cool, or Kevin Nash or something?
So anymore, I've been doing this for almost 6 years now.
6 years.
Yeah. Anymore, I go out there and be Dante. But
just be yourself.
Yeah, but starting out, I emulated. I was a lot smaller, weight-wise. So I emulated Edge a lot, actually, doing stuff like that. The moves, the quickness.
You actually did a spear tonight.
Exactly. That's my finish, actually.
Spear was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That was one of the better spots of the entire match.
Awesome. I appreciate that. That's one of my favorite moves because it's such a fun move to do. And you can do it to anybody.
Who is your current favorite wrestler in WWE, anything, AEW?
Current favorite wrestler? It would have to be Aleister Black. I love his look. I love his. I love his music, the look, his strikes. You didn't get to see it tonight, but I actually do a knee strike that I basically copied from him. But yeah, so Aleister Black is a big one. I love Braun Strowman. I just, as a big guy, watching him go over and everything, and just seeing the stuff he does, he's so entertaining. And just watching his stuff outside of wrestling, he is so funny.
Yeah, he really is. Earlier you said you wanted to be Dante, or you do more Dante now, and we see that. We see that in the crowd. We see that with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
We see that, and it looks fun. It looks like you're having a good time.
Yeah.
And interacting with the crowd. But explain more of Dante to us.
So, the whole idea for this thing is, as a professional wrestler, when you get started, you always the whole idea is you want to try to be somebody. So you want to go in, you want to think, well, maybe I'll try this and do a move, and okay, that worked, but then you got to develop it because, say, tonight, for example, we had Arn Anderson here. If I did a spine buster, they're just like, oh, it's Arn Anderson's move.
Yeah.
Hit a spear, depending on the fan, that's Goldberg or Edge or Roman Reigns or, every other third person who does a spear nowadays, and stuff like that. So you gotta, to be going from just the guy who is emulating other wrestlers to being Dante, you take what you have and you gotta tweak it and adjust it and move it and make it your own. So when people see it on a show you're at or on a card or anywhere, they can be like, that's that guy's move. I know that move. That guy does that move. Or if you're setting up for something, they're like, oh, we know what he's going to do. So finding myself in this business was very difficult. I was surrounded by a ton of guys who have already established themselves, getting to know other people and, just listening and learning. So finding me was very difficult because it's like, well, if I do this, I'm just emulating this guy. Until you basically get to the point where you're like, screw it, I'm just going to do what I want to do and make it mine.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I seen that in the spear. It was a different spear.
Mm-hmm.
You pride yourself on the spear being, because that was very innovative. If I'm not at, I hadn't seen that one before quite like that.
I wouldn't call it innovative. It's just a spear. It's a body tackle. But I appreciate it.
You were working with also. I forget who you landed the spear on.
David Anthony. He's a phenomenal talent.
Yes, it was. Yeah, we met him earlier.
Yeah. Can't say enough nice things about the guy. He's an old school technical guy, and I love that kind of stuff too. But yeah, making it your own. So I say this with all the respect in the world. I love Edge. I've been watching him since I was a kid. He has the worst spear in the business. I don't care.
Worse than Goldberg's current spear.
I give a lot of slack to older guys. For him to come back, especially happening that long a hiatus, I have all the respect in the world for Goldberg. But Edge's spear was lazy, is the best way to say it. His was very, I just laid you down kind of stuff. I loved Goldberg's spear because Goldberg had a football background. Rhino had the gore, which is the same thing. But I love, because for me, the spear is my finish, and a finish ends matches. So if I hit a weak spear, not only do I look bad, I'm making my opponent look bad. Yeah, so it's just a matter, if I hit that move, boom, it looks like I just cut them in half. How you do it?
So have you had any tryouts with any major companies yet?
No.
You planning on sending in tryouts or just doing indie stuff?
I like doing what I'm doing now. I don't see wrestling as a full-time career for myself. I love doing it. I have every bit of respect for this business. But I will do what I can here. If I make it, hell yeah. If not, I got backup plans. So.
Absolutely. What are some of those backup plans, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I actually am, very cliche thing nowadays, I actually have a YouTube channel. Me and my best friends, we do stuff, play games. It's called Dudes Doing Stuff. Just type it in on Google. You'll find it right there. Yeah, I'm pitching myself. That's what you do in these things.
That's fine, yeah, absolutely. Pitch everything.
Yeah. We haven't posted a lot of things recently. I fell on some hard times, so things like that. And then, I've got my shoot job, my real life job, that I don't really want to talk about because you don't mention these things in these kind of stuff. Just in case something happens. Sorry, water break. But yeah, things like that, just having fun. That's what this business is. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add?
Support your local indie wrestling. Like, seriously.
Right. Support indie wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling on TV. Like it all, guys. Yeah. It's for the fans.
You never know when you're going to go to an indie show and you might see the next AJ Styles or Seth Rollins or John Moxley. You never know, because that guy you just saw wrestle in front of 30 people, 2 years from now could be wrestling in front of 30,000 people.
You had mentioned David Anthony, and that's what we were talking about. Very technical background, very old school throwback to him.
Yeah.
And we were fans. We were fans of that spear. And we were fans of him taking that spear. And as you said, you were like, maybe it was the phone, maybe it was this and that. It was a great match nonetheless, and we appreciate you for your time.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. I hope this goes over well with everybody.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm sure it will.
This was Dante Williams.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a guest on our podcast.
Thank you, guys.
This is Justin Hicks and Michael Wells signing off.